These rock structures are meant to spread out and slow down water. And so a lot of times what we'll see is this water, it's meant to sheet flow across these wet meadows. And if we get trailing or we get old roads, something like that, it channelizes all that water and it starts to incise, and then we lose that water.
Over time, across the West really, we've seen a lot of degradation of these areas through erosion and gullies and dropping of the water table and water just rushing off the landscape much faster than it used to.
These rock structures help to restore that sheet flow by slowing down and spreading out the water.
The goal of this project is to hold that water higher in the watershed, which keeps things greener for longer.
Conserving sagebrush itself, we study and we understand that it's a carbon sink. So we're in some ways doing our part in addressing climate change when we work in these, especially in these wet meadow areas, in increasing grass cover. We're doing larger system efforts outside of just the sage grouse.
They're low-tech structures, concepts and principles that have been used for many years, even by the native peoples in this landscape, to try and restore these wet meadow areas.
It's wonderful to see that without major equipment, doing something by hand with volunteers, you actually get results, and the results last.
We have a really progressive ranching community, and they also depend on these mesic and wet areas for their livelihood, because it's where they graze their cattle.
I'm a second-year medicine ecology student at Western, and I'm an international student from Nigeria. I'm working on the geospatial analysis of soil moisture content on restored wet meadow. Basically, what I'm just doing is just to estimate soil moisture content on places in Gunnison, like wet meadows and Gunnisons that have been restored over time. So in the Gunnison Basin, we have wet meadows, and which tend to serve as habitat to the Gunnison sage grouse. And of course, this habitat also provides source of livelihood to people around. But over time, this ecosystem became degraded, and it could no longer provide the benefits that it used to provide. I'm just here to monitor the aftermath effect of this activity, of this restoration work that's been carried out on the wet meadows in the Gunnison Basin. So for that, I'm using drones. I'm working with drones and satellite imageries.
It's about preserving what we have left and trying to restore these really critical areas for the grouse, but also for a bunch of different wildlife species and people that depend on them.